Hello, BookTube. I tried to make a bunch of today's videos very much earlier in the day, before the real heat set in, because it's the end of November in Boston, which means that you really want to try and get as much done possible in either the early morning or once the sun has gone down, because it's brutal to do it during the day. That's really fit just for laying out on the porch or in the hammock and dozing away the hottest part of the day. But the day had other ideas, and I have received tribute. Not just book mail, but tribute. Some of you will remember, those of you who aren't bots and who aren't brand new to the channel will remember that during the summer I called for tribute, where you go to your library book sales and you shop just like you always do, but you're not shopping for yourself anymore. You're shopping for me, you're sending me photos, and then you're sending me whatever I pick at your own expense. And it was a grand summer. I've always wanted a summer of tribute, but some tributaries have continued to flow, and this is one of them. These are sent from Lady Lisle over in Calais, and they were packed very tightly, so I cut the top of them open, but I did not look inside. So we will be seeing these for the first time. Let's see what we have. Oh, okay. All right, well, the first one, I was a little piggy about this. I was a little greedy about this, and you're going to see that. But this is Sally Bedell Smith. I can't remember if I am blurbed on this thing. Let's take a quick look and see. No, I am not. All right, this is her biography of Queen Elizabeth II. And it's got a little sticker schmutz up there, a little dirt on the cover, easily fixable. And this is Sally Bedell Smith is really good. She is really good as a biographer. Just you got to keep in mind. You got to keep in mind that this is all just peeking through a keyhole. The Queen did not grant interviews, and palace officials, especially ones in a position to actually know what they were talking about, knew that they risked expulsion and exile to civilian life if they gave interviews. So they didn't. So. Queen Elizabeth II lived her entire life in the public eye, so a huge amount of it is public record. It's just, there are limitations to what a biographer can do with this subject. But I love this book, and when this person sent me pictures of possible choices, because that's the way you do tribute. You don't just send things blind, God help us. I don't want to be at the mercy of your taste. When this person sent pictures, I thought, well, I don't have a copy of this, and it is a worthy example of a biography of the House of Windsor, so it will go up on the royal shelf. Then we have something by Charles Smith. This is not royal, although not far off. This is the butler of Lord Mountbatten, telling the story of Lord Mountbatten. So this is the actual living embodiment of the age-old saying where every man is a hero to his valet. That's what this will be. but it will also be, it's also a remarkable document. Probably mostly in spite of itself, it's also a remarkable document, because the butler will have seen things and will have been there, and some of the things that I'm sure that he's drawing a veil over quite a bit, considering what we can know about Lord Mountbatten. Probably he's drawing the curtain over quite a bit. But there'll be things that he didn't think were important to hide that are nevertheless not in other biographies, that are attested to only in this book, and the source for those things is largely unimpeachable. So that's good. Good to have it. So let's move on. Let's see what this next one is. Oh, okay, great. All right, this is T. Harry Williams. This is a classic. It is a great book. And I have resisted having it on my shelf. I've seen it at the Brattle Bookshop. I've resisted having it on my shelf for a dumb reason. And when I saw it in the prospectus of this particular tributary, I thought, okay, well, it's time you gave up that dumb reason and just have the book. This is his biography of Huey Long, the Kingfish. This is his biography of the famous Louisiana governor, the famous senator who was assassinated. And it's a great big thing, and the thing that has stopped me from getting this hardcover when I found it at other used bookstores is that, it's going to seem really dumb, this was reprinted as a mass market paperback. Back when mass market paperbacks were the new thing, they were a huge hit, they were all in vogue, and all kinds of things got printed in mass market, not just romance and mystery novels. And the mass market market was so vigorous that oftentimes publishers would commission new cover art different from that of the hardcover. And I love the little squat black mass market paperback edition of this book. Doesn't look like this, but I love it. I have a sentimental attachment to that. That was the form in which I first read this book. And every time I have seen this just sitting on a shelf, I've thought, no, I don't want the cover. I like the mass market paper. When I'm never going to read that mass market paperback, I know that perfectly well. If I found a copy tomorrow for $1 at the Brattle, I wouldn't get it because I'm never going to read it. A 900-page biography in mass market paperback, it's extremely unlikely. I will occasionally do it, but better that I have the book, because this is, of course, like all great American political biographies, this is not just about the man. It's also about his incredibly tumultuous times. So a masterpiece to do. What else have we got here? Oh, okay. All right. This is Selina Hastings. I have not read this. This is The Secret Lives of Somerset Maugham. And there he is, looking cheerful as always. Of course, some of why he never looks cheerful in pictures is understandable, which is the absolute abysmal end-of-the-world rot inside his mouth, which could make anyone look like that from morning till night. But what is this? A scandalous biography? Yeah, this is a scandal-racked biography. It's covered in sticker schmutz. All of that can be removed. All of it can be. This will not look. It's covered in sticker schmutz. There's smudges and dirt all over the place. And when I want to read this, definitely, probably tonight. And when I'm done cleaning it up, you won't know that any of that was ever there. So, and I do find Mom interesting. So is this next one? All right, so we've got a couple more in this box. Oh, very nice. Okay, this was the subject of back and forth between me and Lady Lisle. This is the Oxford History of the American People by Samuel Eliot Morison. And this is incredible, because this is a book club edition. It must be. It's smaller than the usual hardcover of this thing, which is great. That is absolutely great. This is scarcely bigger than this trade paperback, whereas the normal hardcover of this thing is a third bigger. I've never seen this book club edition. That is great. This is not abridged. It's just they chop down the bezels, as we would call it in the internet age. Fantastic. Of course, if you've been with this channel for a while, you will know that I am a big fan of the writings of Samuel Eliot Morison. This is a terrific book. I just have resisted having a copy because the hardcover with the dust jacket is so big. But this is nice and handy sized. Fantastic. I will clean it up. I will put a covering over it. Fantastic. And then one more for this box. Oh, right. Okay. Okay, great. This is Michael Grant. This is his book, The 12 Caesars. It is not a translation of Suetonius. We just had a new translation in 2025. Tom Holland's translation came out. But rather, this is Michael Grant covering the same ground, only with modern history. So this is all the later archaeological and historiographical finds to cover the same ground that Suetonius covered. So Grant, if I remember correctly, in his introduction, he is saying, I am not at all laying claim to any kind of parallel value. Suetonius is a masterpiece on his own. But in case you read Suetonius' 12 Caesars and you're reading through his accounts and you're thinking, all right, but how much of this is true? How much of this is falsified? Where are the errors? This is the perfect companion volume for that. I mean, you could have a perfect companion to those questions by reading a heavily annotated edition of Suetonius, but this is the perfect counterbalance to the book itself. Plus, I really like Michael Grant. I really like him as a writer. All right, now we're going to move on to the last box. We'll see what we have here. Oh, okay, all right. Well, I already mentioned that I was a little bit greedy when it came to this because I got a second copy of Elizabeth the Queen. This one also has all sorts of schmutz all over it, so I will just I will do what I can to clean up both of them. I don't need both of them. I originally, when I was thinking about these things, I was thinking, I'll see which one of them is more salvageable. I'll keep the less salvageable one, and I'll offer to mail the more salvageable one to one of you who is perhaps a fan of the House of Windsor, as I am. But that's an outdated plan, because I don't know your mailing address, and you don't know your mailing address either. You will give me a mailing address, even knowing that I have been talking for 50 years on YouTube about how people do not know where they live. Even knowing that, even joking about that, you will give me a mailing address, and it will be wrong. It will be wrong. It will get my package sent back to me. After which, only after which, you remember the vital thing that you forgot the first time, even though you know. Anyway, since that ship has now sailed, I have learned all over again that sometimes idiomatic expressions like the straw that broke the camel's back are true. Since that ship has now sailed, I am not mailing this, so I'll just have a second copy. Maybe I'll dump the worser copy in the pile for the rattle. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. All right, this is John Terrain. This is another book, The Life and Times of Lord Mountbatten. This is probably as close as we can come to an authorized biography. And not a very long thing, obviously a library copy, so I'll get this thing off here, but the rest of it can just stay. Somebody took the cover from the dust jacket and welded it onto this library edition. So that is two Mountbatten books, and if I remember correctly, there's one more coming. And keep in mind that a good third of this will also be a Mountbatten book. The one thing that isn't here is Philip Zeger's great biography of the man, which did not show up at the library sale that this tributary was policing, and has not shown up at any other. That is the one thing that's not here. The one Mountbatten thing that's not here is the great Philip Ziegler book. So what is this next one? Oh, okay. All right. This is by Alden Hatch, one of America's best-known biographers of contemporary figures, and this is his book, The Mountbattens, which is not just about Dickie, but it's about his father and grandfather, his family, and whatnot. You've got the iconic vessels of each one of them, and I have never read this. It's a very detailed deep dive into the Mountbatten family, which will be interesting, but I've never read it, so I have an overindulgence in Mountbatten stuff here, but ironically not the key central book. It will turn up. It always does, especially if Lady Lisle is searching a library book sale, that one of those library book sales that goes on regularly, that is continuous. That book will turn up. It always does in library book sales. I wish my library did that. The Boston Public Library has a book sale every other month, and it's mainly for dealers with their phone apps. I mean, they dominate it. They can sweep whole shelves onto the floor and just order you not to go anywhere near it. They're never approached or disciplined by the library staff. They can block whole shelves, and you say, can I get in here and look at that? And they'll say, no, I'm scanning it. Wait. And they seem to run the place when the library could easily ban them. Just say that cell phones aren't allowed in the room. Simple as that. These insectile book dealers have no idea what books are. They hate books. They don't read them, and they hate them. They have no idea what they are. They don't know anything about them at all. They scan ISBNs to see if they can make a quarter of a nickel on eBay. So if they don't have their phones, well, then they'd rather be literally anywhere else, because they hate books. So being in a room full of books, if they don't have their scanners to know whether or not they can make a quarter of a penny on a book, they won't do it. The library could easily do that. The BPL could easily do that, and they don't. So the result is that when you go into the one room that they set aside every other month for the book sale, if there are 30 people, 28 of them will be book dealers. Obnoxious book dealers, of course, that's a redundancy, but still. And that's only once every other month. The library used to have a sale that went on regularly, but that was a long, long, long time ago. If your library has an ongoing book sale, consider yourself fortunate. But anyway, the Philip Ziegler book will show up. So there you go. A biography heavy bit of book tribute. We have The Mountbattens by Alden Hatch. We have The Life and Times of Lord Mountbatten with an introduction by Lord Mountbatten. We have The 12 Caesars by Michael Grant. We have The Oxford History of the American People in this little hardcover. Fantastic. Just fantastic. Worth a reread, actually, now that I think about it. We have The Secret Lives of Somerset Maugham by Selina Hastings. We have T. Harry Williams' gigantic biography of Huey Long. We have Charles Smith, the butler of Lord Mountbatten, giving his account of the great man. And 2 copies of Sally Bedell Smith's biography of Queen Elizabeth II. So you've got that one up on top, and then this other one. So we've got 2 of these. So I will clean them up. I will see which one suits my needs. So anyway, there you go. There is book tribute as we approach the siesta hour, or the siesta couple of hours, as Boston creeps up towards 70 degrees. Perfectly natural for the end of November in Boston. Perfectly natural. So I might wait until after sunset to get any other videos that I want to get done today, because it gets awful hot work when you're making videos in the middle of November. So anyway, I'll wrap this up. Thank you very much. I will contact the Lady Lisle over in Calais and tell her how happy I am that all of these made it to me. And who knows, maybe more book tribute. Are any of the rest of you out there still tempted to send pictures of your library book sales? Some of you had a great summer finding great things. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.